I saw the notification, new voicemail from Mom, and my blood ran cold. My mom never leaves voicemails. What was so urgent, so terrifying, she couldn't just text. The rain was coming down in sheets, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. It was 2025, and even with all the fancy tech we had, a simple phone call could still wreck your whole day. I worked at Stellar Tech. Well, had worked. Just hours ago, I'd been celebrating finishing training the new intern, Liam. He was bright, eager, and reminded me of myself when I first started. Then Brenda, my boss, called me into her office. "Emma," she'd said, her voice saccharine sweet, "Liam's doing great. Thanks to you, of course. You've been invaluable." Invaluable until I was too old, apparently. We're streamlining, making way for fresh perspectives. That's corporate speak for, "You're getting the boot, Granny." And then she actually said it. "You've been great, Emma, but, well, maybe it's time to let the younger generation take over. Enjoy your retirement, Granny." Retirement? I was 52. I wasn't ready for retirement. I had bills, a mortgage, and a whole life ahead of me. And Granny? That stung more than the firing. After 15 years of loyal service, that's how she saw me? Did all my hard work just vanish because of a few gray hairs and some laugh lines? I was numb as I packed my things, Liam looking on with a mixture of pity and awkwardness. I gave him a reassuring smile, even though I felt like screaming. "You've got this, Liam. Don't let them grind you down." He nodded, his eyes wide. "Thank you, Emma. I'm so sorry. Sorry wasn't going to pay my bills." As I drove home, the rain blurring my vision, I replayed Brenda's words in my head. Streamlining, fresh perspectives. It was a load of corporate garbage. What I suspected was far more insidious. The voicemail icon blinked accusingly. I took a deep breath and pressed play. "Emma," my mother's voice was trembling. "It's about Clara, your sister. She's gone. Gone. Clara." My younger sister, the free spirit, the artist, gone? How? "The police are here," my mother continued, her voice cracking. "They found her apartment, empty. But her new blockchain art project. It's been wiped. Everything. Come quickly." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Clara had been working on a cutting-edge art project using blockchain technology. Something about preserving digital memories. She'd been so excited about it. Now it was gone, and so was she. Could this be connected to my firing? It sounded crazy, I know, but something felt off. Brenda's streamlining felt more like a cover-up, and Clara's disappearance, it felt too convenient. I pulled over to the side of the road, my mind racing. What would you do? Would you pack a bag and rush to your mother, try to comfort her, and trust the police to handle everything? Or would you, like me, feel a gnawing suspicion, a feeling that something wasn't right, that you needed to dig deeper? I called my mother back. "Mom, I'm on my way. Don't touch anything in Clara's apartment, okay? Anything at all." When I arrived at Clara's apartment, the scene was exactly as my mother described. Sterile, empty, and unsettlingly clean. The police had already dusted for prints and taken photos. My mother sat on the worn sofa, clutching a faded photograph of Clara as a child. She wouldn't just leave Emma, my mother sobbed. She loved her art. She loved this apartment. She had plans. I knelt beside her, wrapping my arms around her. "I know, Mom. I know." The apartment itself was a testament to Clara's eclectic personality. Paintbrushes lay scattered on a table, alongside half-finished canvases. A half-eaten bowl of ramen sat on the counter, a testament to her haphazard eating habits. Everything spoke of a life interrupted. I picked up Clara's tablet, the one she used for her digital art. It was locked. "Do you know her password, Mom?" My mother shook her head. She never told me. She was always so secretive about her work. Secretive? Clara? She usually overshared everything. That was unusual, and another red flag. As the police finished their initial investigation and left, I started searching. I went through her drawers, her closet, her files, looking for anything at all, that could give me a clue. I found nothing. Everything was meticulously organized, almost too perfect. It was as if someone had cleaned up after her, erasing her presence. I decided to try the obvious, Clara's phone. It was an older model, but Clara refused to upgrade until it died completely. It was locked, of course, but I remembered something Clara had told me a few months ago, something about a new facial recognition app that bypassed security features. It's still in beta, she'd said, but it's supposed to be amazing. I'm using it to secure my blockchain files. I searched online for the app. It was called Chrono Face. It was supposed to be able to unlock any device using a high-resolution photo of the owner's face. A bit shady, but desperate times, right? After a tense 10 minutes of installation and setup, I held Clara's phone in front of the tablet, displaying a photo of Clara I'd found on her social media. I held my breath. The app whirred, analyzing the image. Then, the phone unlocked. I felt a surge of triumph, quickly followed by a wave of nausea. The first thing I saw was a message from an unknown number. They know. Get out now. Who knew what? Get out of where? And who were they? The message was dated the day before Clara disappeared. My heart pounded in my chest. She'd been warned. But why hadn't she told anyone? Why hadn't she called me? I scrolled through Clara's messages, her emails, her social media accounts. Everything seemed normal, except for that one cryptic message. Then, I found it. Hidden in a folder labeled Old Projects was a single encrypted file. It was dated the day she disappeared. I tried to open it, but it required a password. I tried everything I could think of. Her birthday, her pet's name, her favorite artist. Nothing worked. Frustrated, I almost gave up. Then I remembered something Clara had said about her blockchain project. It's all about preserving memories, Emma. About making sure nothing is ever truly lost. Memories. What was Clara's most precious memory? Us, our childhood. I typed in Sisters Forever, our childhood password. The file opened. Inside was a document containing a series of financial transactions, all linked to Stellar Tech. It showed a pattern of suspicious payments being made to offshore accounts, disguised as consulting fees. The amounts were staggering. Millions of dollars. And the beneficiary of the accounts? Brenda. Brenda was embezzling from Stellar Tech. And Clara had found out. But how? What was she even doing looking at Stellar Tech's finances? Then I saw another file, a video recording. I clicked on it. The video showed Clara, looking pale and frightened, sitting in front of her computer. If you're watching this, she began, her voice trembling. It means something has happened to me. I stumbled onto something I shouldn't have. Brenda, my sister Emma's boss at Stellar Tech, is embezzling millions from the company. I found proof. I tried to tell Emma, but I couldn't reach her. I think they know I know. She looked directly at the camera, her eyes pleading. Emma, if you find this, please expose them. Don't let them get away with it. My blood ran cold. Clara knew she was in danger, and she was trying to protect me. That's why I couldn't reach her. They were watching her phone, jamming her communications. What would you do? Would you take the evidence to the police, risking your own safety? Or would you confront Brenda directly, demand answers, and hope for the best? I knew what I had to do. I had to protect Clara's legacy. I had to expose Brenda. I closed my laptop, grabbed my purse, and headed straight to Stellar Tech. It was after hours, the building mostly deserted. I rode the elevator to Brenda's office, my heart pounding in my chest. As I reached her floor, I noticed something odd. The door to Brenda's office was slightly ajar. That was strange. Brenda was meticulous, always locking up. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The office was dark, the only light coming from the city outside. And then I saw her. Brenda was sitting at her desk, hunched over, her face buried in her hands. She was sobbing. "Brenda," I said, my voice trembling. She looked up, her eyes red and swollen. "Emma, what are you doing here?" "I know," I said, my voice cold. "I know about the embezzlement. I know about Clara." Her eyes widened in panic. You know?" Yes, I said, holding up Clara's tablet. Clara found the evidence. She sent it to me. Brenda stared at me, her face a mask of desperation. Emma, please, she begged. You don't understand. I can explain. Explain what? I demanded. Explain why you stole millions from the company? Explain why my sister disappeared? It wasn't supposed to happen like this, she said, her voice cracking. I just needed the money. I was desperate. Desperate enough to hurt my sister? I asked, my voice rising. No, she cried. I didn't hurt Clara, I swear. I told her to keep quiet. I offered her money, but she wouldn't listen. She said she was going to tell you. So what did you do? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Brenda hesitated, her eyes darting around the room. I hired someone to scare her, just to scare her, Emma. I didn't want anything to happen to her. Hired someone? To scare her? That was all it took? A little intimidation? That's how she thought she could get away with it? Who? I demanded. Who did you hire? Brenda shook her head, refusing to answer. I can't tell you. They'll hurt me. They'll hurt you? I scoffed. What about Clara? What about what you did to her? Brenda broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, she cried. It just spiraled out of control. I didn't believe her, not for a second. Where is she, Brenda? I demanded. Where is Clara? Brenda remained silent, refusing to meet my gaze. I knew I wasn't going to get anything out of her. I turned to leave, defeated. But as I reached the door, I noticed something on Brenda's desk, something I hadn't seen before. It was a small, crumpled piece of paper. I picked it up and unfolded it. It was a handwritten note. Meet me at the docks, midnight, bring the tablet. The docks? What was Clara doing meeting someone at the docks? And then I saw the signature. It was a single initial. L. Liam. The intern. Could it be? Could Liam be involved in all of this? It seemed impossible. He was so young, so eager. But Brenda had hired him. She'd streamlined me out to make room for him. He was the fresh perspective. My mind raced. What was going on? I left Brenda's office and hurried to my car. The docks. I had to be there. As I drove to the docks, the rain started again, making the streets slick and treacherous. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles white. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap. The docks were deserted. The only sound the lapping of waves against the pilings. The air was thick with the smell of salt and diesel. I parked my car and got out, my senses on high alert. I spotted Liam standing near the edge of the pier, his back to me. He was talking on the phone. I have it, he said into the phone, his voice low. She brought the tablet. Yes, everything's going according to plan. My blood ran cold. He was working with Brenda. He was the one who had lured Clara to the docks. I approached him slowly, silently. He didn't see me coming. Liam? I said, my voice trembling with rage. He turned around, his eyes widening in shock. Emma? What are you doing here? I know everything, Liam, I said, my voice cold. I know about Brenda. I know about Clara. I know you were involved. He didn't deny it. He just stared at me, his face a mask of guilt and fear. It wasn't supposed to happen this way, he said, his voice cracking. Brenda said she just wanted to scare Clara. She said she wouldn't hurt her. But she did, didn't she? I said, my voice rising. What did you do to her, Liam? Where is she? Liam hesitated, his eyes darting around nervously. I can't tell you, he said. They'll kill me. They'll kill you? I scoffed. What about Clara? You helped them hurt her. You lied to me. I actually thought you were a good person. He took a step back, his eyes filled with panic. I didn't have a choice, Emma, he said. Brenda threatened me. She said she would ruin my career if I didn't help her. So you chose to ruin Clara's life instead, I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He remained silent, his eyes filled with shame. Where is she, Liam? I demanded. Tell me where Clara is. He hesitated for a moment, then She's on a boat, he said. They took her to a boat. What boat? I asked, my voice trembling. What boat? He pointed to a small, unmarked fishing boat that was pulling away from the dock. "That one," he said. "They're taking her out to sea." Without thinking, I ran towards the boat, yelling Clara's name, but it was too late. The boat was already too far away. I stood on the dock, watching helplessly as the boat disappeared into the darkness. Clara was out there, somewhere, alone and afraid, and I had no way to reach her. How could I have been so blind? How could I have trusted Brenda? How could I have believed Liam? I felt a surge of anger, a burning desire for revenge. I wanted to make them pay for what they had done to Clara. I wanted to make them suffer. But I knew that revenge wouldn't bring Clara back. It wouldn't heal my broken heart. It wouldn't make things right. What would you do? Would you seek revenge, try to make them pay for what they've done? Or would you take the high road, trust the authorities to handle things, and try to find a way to forgive? I stood there for a long time, staring out at the dark, churning sea, trying to decide what to do. And then I made a decision. I pulled out my phone and called the police. "I need to report a kidnapping," I said, my voice trembling. "My sister has been taken, and I know who did it." The police launched a full-scale investigation, searching for Clara and the boat she was on. Brenda and Liam were arrested and charged with kidnapping and embezzlement. The media had a field day. Stellar Tech scandal rocks corporate world. Sister's betrayal, from office to outlaw. I became a reluctant celebrity, my face plastered all over the news. Everyone wanted to know my story. Everyone wanted to know what I was going to do. But all I wanted was Clara. After what felt like an eternity, the police, it was abandoned, adrift in the ocean. Clara wasn't on board. My heart sank. Had they killed her? Had they thrown her overboard? Was she lost forever? The police searched the boat, looking for clues, and then they found something. A small waterproof container hidden under a floorboard. Inside was a note from Clara. "If you're reading this," she wrote, "it means something has gone wrong. They've taken me. But don't worry, Emma, I'm not giving up. I've left a message for you. It's hidden in the blockchain code of my last art project. You'll need to use the Chronoface app to unlock it." Blockchain code. Chronoface? She was still one step ahead. Even in captivity, she was leaving me breadcrumbs to follow. I rushed home and fired up Clara's tablet. I used the Chronoface app to unlock her last art project. Hidden within the code was a message, a set of coordinates. They led to a small, isolated island off the coast. Without hesitation, I contacted the police. They organized a rescue mission, and within hours, we were on our way to the island. As we approached the island, I saw her. Clara was standing on the beach, waving frantically. She was alive. I ran to her, embracing her tightly. "Clara, you're alive. You're safe." "Emma," she cried, tears streaming down her face. "I knew you would find me." The police arrested the men who had been holding her captive. They were low-level criminals, hired by Brenda to keep Clara quiet. As we were leaving the island, Clara turned to me, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Emma," she said. "You saved my life." "You saved your own life, Clara," I said. "You left me the clues. You never gave up." Brenda and Liam were eventually convicted and sentenced to prison. Stellar Tech was in shambles, its reputation ruined. As for me, I started a new life. I used my newfound notoriety to advocate for age discrimination awareness and corporate ethics reform. I even started my own company, helping women over 50 find meaningful work. I wasn't going to let anyone else be dismissed as Granny again. Clara continued her art, her work more powerful and meaningful than ever. She became a voice for the voiceless, using her art to expose injustice and inequality. We were closer than ever, our bond forged in the fires of betrayal and adversity. The rain has stopped. The sun's peeking through the clouds. It's 2025, and the world is a complicated place. Betrayal can come from those you least expect, but so can strength. So can resilience. Could you forgive Brenda? Could you forgive Liam? I don't know if I ever will. But I do know that I won't let their actions define me. I won't let them dim my light. I will continue to fight for what's right, to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves, and to prove that age is just a number. It doesn't define capability. It doesn't define worth. So what do you think? What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have chosen revenge or forgiveness? What is the line between loyalty and betrayal, and when do you cross it? Write what you'd choose. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of resilience and justice. Life had settled into a new rhythm, a strange mix of healing and advocacy. The dust from the Stellar Tech scandal had mostly settled, but the feeling of betrayal still lingered. It was like a phantom limb, a constant reminder of what I'd lost and what I'd gained. One evening, a few months after everything, I was sitting in my new office, a small sunlit space above a cafe with free Wi-Fi and glass walls, working on a presentation for a conference on ageism in the tech industry. The neon city lights flashed outside my window, painting the room in the fleeting colors. I was scrolling through articles, researching the latest statistics on age discrimination, when my phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "Hello? Emma, it's Liam." His voice was barely a whisper, filled with fear. "Liam, what do you want?" I asked, my voice cold. I didn't want anything to do with him. He'd betrayed me, betrayed Clara. He was part of the reason my life had been turned upside down. I need your help," he said. "Brenda, she's not doing well, in prison." I scoffed. "She deserves everything she gets." "I know," he said, his voice cracking. "But she's sick, Emma, really sick. And she wants to see you. She has something to tell you. Something about Clara." My heart skipped a beat. Something about Clara? What could Brenda possibly have to say about Clara that she hadn't already said? "What is it?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I can't tell you over the phone," he said. "She wants to tell you herself. Please, Emma, just visit her. She's dying." Dying, Brenda? The woman who seemed invincible, who had climbed the corporate ladder with ruthless ambition, was dying? And she wanted to see me. It didn't make any sense. "I don't know, Liam," I said. "I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can face her." "Please, Emma," he begged. "For Clara, she said it's important. It's about what happened after the rescue."